Hey clowns, welcome to Crimenelia Street. I'm Sam.
And I'm Tori, and we are gathered here today. What a time to be alive. What a time to be a Swiftie. What a time to have a Swiftie true crime podcast.
Yes, we are lucky. We're the lucky ones. Yeah, lots of good stuff happening in our holy month of August. Like, what is this?
It will forever be my favorite month moving forward.
Like, where do we even begin? Because the last time we recorded, we were saying, is TS12 coming out soon or going to be announced soon? We think so.
We did. We were kind of right for once. I mean, we had to be at some point.
Right. Neither here nor there, Tori. Yes.
We got a whole new album.
Like, okay. So the timeline was we kind of saw the little outline of the New Heights podcast, or did her website start counting down first? Like, our group chat is also historical.
Yes.
Like, we can get facts from this.
History happens there for sure. In the group chat, we got the silhouette about the podcast first, and we were all like, oh my God, is it going to be Taylor? And then, so she may have already posted the See You Next Era thing, like those both may have come out simultaneously, because it seems like it's always coupled a podcast thing and something from Taylor Nation. But shortly after we found out about the Travis thing, we also got word of the See You Next Era, and then it was like, whoa.
Ring the alarms.
Yes. Get in the car.
Honk, honk. We're going. What a fun day, though.
What a fun week. Like, she always drags it out, and I enjoy every minute of it. Like, it's so fun.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, Sam, tonight is the beep in vigilante shit. What's the beep?
Yes. Okay, so I'm not sure if this has already been talked about. It's not some groundbreaking thing, and just for some context, so I usually listen to Taylor Swift, like, in my car, or, I mean, in the house as well, but in the car. And I have an older car that doesn't have Bluetooth, so I use, like, an aux cable and a headphone jack for my phone to listen. And it doesn't always get the best sound quality. Like, I'll sometimes miss out on, like, background noises or backing tracks or whatever. And we took a little mini getaway this past weekend to the coast, and we decided to just rent a vehicle just to have more space. So I was listening to vigilante shit on the way back home, and we were driving through one of the roads to the coast that is very twisty, turny, very precarious. Like, you're looking over the side and there's like a 100-foot drop into the water, and it's like a 2-lane road, and it's crazy.
I miss that.
Oh, it's beautiful though. Yeah, it is beautiful. Yeah. But I hear this like car honk, and there's a car a little bit behind me, but we're just keeping our own pace. But I'm like, who is honking at me? And Austin's like, wait a second. And he rewinds it, and it was in vigilante shit. And it's right after she talks about she looks so pretty riding your Benz lately. She's been dressing for revenge. And it's like, honk, honk. It almost sounds like a clown car honk.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, I've never noticed that before. And it just made me laugh.
I don't know if I have either.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like a cheeky little moment. And I love it when she does that in her songs, like in Question, when I think it's the last time she sings the chorus, and she sings 15 seconds later they were clapping to, and you can hear like a big applause and cheers in the background. Like, I just love those little bits in her songs. So yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to definitely listen for that next time. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at interrupting tonight. Well, always.
Same. Same. I am too. We're just so excited. That's it. But yeah, it's just a funny little bit. Tori is donut blame me.
Close. That was close. So it's actually don't blame me.
Oh.
But I can see I can see how donut, it looks like donut. It's just missing the U. Yeah, she was talking about all the sourdough puns that she's coming up with in her sourdough era, and mine aren't as good as hers. Don't blame me, spelled DOUGHN''T, which looks very much like donut, is what I ended up with.
I love that. Loving him as bread was also very good, that she said.
Yeah.
My
There were
gosh.
so many good moments from the podcast where it was just so cool to see her in this like casual, just like conversational environment. And also, I am just so curious how much of that is going to be Easter eggs later.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Especially because she mentioned her New York acceptance honorary degree speech. So
Guess we'll have to give that a re-listen. Because I'm sure there's something in there.
I know, yeah. Anyways,
Oh my gosh.
we've been happy for too long. I think we got to bring the tone down. We have a story to finish.
Yeah, so we left off with Tia, right?
Yep. Tia or Tiahleigh.
I believe we left off where they found, unfortunately, her, and her body was already kind of in a state of decomposition. So, and then it was just like, I was thinking something with a foster family, but I don't know.
Yes. So, and the body unfortunately was decomposed to the point too where they couldn't determine a cause of death. And also the initial investigation, the things that came up was there was a girl who went to school with Tia who thought she saw her that day. That ended up panning out to be false. I think the girl was just confused. Oh, and they had some information too that Tia had planned to skip school that day, but that ended up not panning out as well, being false information. And then the police were also kind of circling in on someone whose cell phone, I guess, was near where her body was disposed of when it would have been disposed of. That person ended up being cleared from the investigation as well. So we were at a point where it's like, what's going on? We have no one, this poor little girl, something obviously terrible happened to her. And so this was all happening in 2015, just for a little recap. So it was October 29th when she went missing. Now jumping ahead into 2016, the investigation is still continuing. 2 things happened in the investigation during this year. There was an anonymous call made to investigators that the Thorburns all had a family meeting about something very serious the night before Tia went missing. And this was obviously of interest to investigators because when they're doing their investigations, they ask all the details, of the night before. And no one in the family had mentioned any kind of serious family meeting. So it's just really suspicious that they're being told this big event happened and everyone happened to leave it out of their series of events for the night. Separately, a woman contacted police and said that Rick Thorburn, who was the father figure of the family who were the foster carers for Tia, that he had acted inappropriately towards her daughter while her daughter was at the daycare that Julene was running. And Julene was the mother figure of the family. While Tia was placed with the Thorburns, they had started up a daycare out of their home to bring in some extra money. Rick was a truck driver and had a food truck business. Julene was supposed to be the main caretaker for the children who were attending the daycare. Rick was not authorized to have sole supervision of the children attending the daycare. On May 4th, 2016, Rick was charged with 13 offenses in relation to 2 girls who had attended the daycare during the summer holidays of 2015 through April 2016. One of the girls was 4 years old, and the other one was 11.
What the fuck?
Yeah. My blood, it just, heated up, I feel like, saying that. 4 years old and 11,
And what year was this?
So it was from the summer holidays in 2015 through April 2016.
Oh, okay.
That they attended the daycare, so sometime during that time period.
Oh my god, dude.
Lock them up.
That is sickening. Oh my god. I just can't imagine, like, dropping off your kids to someone, like, you trust.
Yep. At this nice place with horses and 2 acres and, you know, this stay-at-home mom. And, yeah, dude, it's...
That's disgusting, dude. Those poor kids.
Yeah. So upsetting. These crimes may have been committed when Julene was taking the children to school or in another room, which is just like, is she just looking the other way then? In another room? What do you mean?
That's your husband of how many years?
Oh, I don't know if I know how long they were together. But, yeah,
I mean,
they've
they're
been
old,
together.
so...
Their kids are old. Their kids are like 18, 19.
God.
The 4-year-old reported this to her dad, who reported it to the family daycare management company and then to police. Julene resigned from the company shortly after. I'm sure it was a forced resignation. The recent developments of sexual assault charges and the anonymous call about the family meeting got the CCC involved. Oh, they call it the Triple C in Australia. The Triple C is the Crime and Corruption Commission, which has different powers than police, including the ability to hold a coercive hearing. Usually in Australia, if you're involved in a crime and interrogated by police, you have the right not to answer questions. With a coercive hearing, you don't have that right, and you will go to jail if you don't comply, which is kind of badass.
Right. I'm like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean...
The triples, in the context we're hearing it, sounds pretty fair.
It's a good thing, yeah.
The Triple C was able to find out who made the anonymous call and brought them in for a coercive hearing. The people who made the call ended up being relatives of the Thorburns. The Triple C got more information from the relatives and then eventually brought in the Thorburns for coercive hearings. Police then checked CCTV footage of the school and never saw Tia getting dropped off that morning. The Thorburns were lying, and the Triple C eventually got enough information on the Thorburns to prove it. The family eventually cracked on each other, and the truth came out. Information gathered from the family's coercive hearings was the CCC now knew that there was some time the night of October 29th that Rick was home alone with Tia, which they did not know that initially. And the Triple C found out that 3 months prior to her death, Tia told Julene that she had a secret, and if she shared the secret, she'd be removed from their home.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah. The evidence that the Triple C had against the Thorburns was recorded conversations because the Triple C at this point had tapped their phone lines and also placed recording devices in the Thorburn home. Like, this is like full on The Wire shit.
Yeah.
Still working through the Bud Light Limes from Alicia's birthday.
Oh, snap.
Which is like a month and a half ago, I think. Down to my last couple. They're good. Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. So what really happened? Mr. Thorburn did not bring Tia to school that morning of the 30th of October. In fact, Tia was already murdered and deceased at this point. So let's go back a couple of days. You can go ahead and pull up photos of Trent.
Looks like a dude.
Is he I feel like there's definitely some interesting hair choices with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, just average white teenager looking guy. Kind of like, I don't know, he has this like smugness look about him in all of the pictures I've seen of him. But again, he's like taking selfies, so like maybe that's like his selfie style. I don't know, but it's definitely this like, I don't know. If I saw it, I would swipe left.
Oh no, I get that vibe. Yep.
Just because like the air, I don't know, the smugness.
It's just borderline, like, it's just so serious. Borderline, I don't know. I guess we can't deduce all these things from a photo, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cocky, arrogant.
Yes, that's what came to mind for me. Yeah.
A little bit too sure of himself, I think.
Yes. That's a good way to put it. On October 28th, 2015, Trent, the Thorburns' youngest son, 18 at this time, had sent messages to his cousin via Facebook Messenger that he was forced to have sexual intercourse with Tia because she would hurt his dog if he didn't. Again, she's 12 at the time. He's 18.
What?
kill his dog if he didn't. That's what he's saying to his cousin. The message to his cousin said, I just want the kid gone and out of my life, but I know she is also a source of income for mom and dad as well, and I can't risk us losing money because she is gone. Also, if Tia did say something to Children's Services and she is pregnant, then it all gets investigated and I could go to jail because a court isn't going to believe me over her. Probably because you're lying.
Oh my God. What? That... So
I feel like I just dropped a lot on you.
No, because she's the only sort... Okay. Whew. It's like, obviously, the mom and the dad have talked about them getting money from getting foster children in front of their other children. So, one, just like referring to a human being as a way to... as a source of income is so disgusting.
Yeah. And a child on top of that.
And it just shows where their head is at with this.
Yeah, that's so true. I didn't even think about that. Like the kid had to hear that because his parents were talking about it in front of him.
Mm-hmm. Like, because how else would he know?
Right.
And then the whole thing about, like, why would this older male be afraid of this younger girl, of this child killing his dog? Why wouldn't he report that to his parents in the first place? And then I'm sure the Child Protective Services in Australia would appropriately remove her from that and get her the rehabilitation if that were true. Like, why does he need to be... Oh my God. Okay. Anyway.
And that's why he's so sure too that a court's not going to believe him, because it's a court. They go off evidence and they're going to find out.
And you're being forced. She's forcing you.
By a 12-year-old girl.
Come on, bro. Oh my God. That's so sick.
Yep. Oh, my next note says, how fucking ridiculous of a story to come up with about the dog. Trent later admits to making this up. So it is definitely all false.
Yeah, no shit, bro.
Yeah. Trent's cousin told Trent to tell his mom, and then the cousin told his own mom. So the cousin was like, hey, you need to tell your mom, and then went and told his own mom. Trent did bring this up to Julene. He took his cousin's advice. Julene discussed this with Trent, and Trent said he was worried that Tia was pregnant. Julene then told Rick, who was worried Trent could go to prison, and said, we can't let Trent go to jail. He won't survive a day. On the day of October 29th, 2015, Tia was at a dance class when she complained of stomach cramps. Josh called up Julene. Josh is their other son, who came and picked Tia up. And Tia didn't want to eat dinner, so she was given some medicine and went to bed early that night. And I think it was just like a common, like, stomach medicine. The Thorburns were concerned that the stomach cramps potentially could be indicating a pregnancy. Meanwhile, Julene's sister, the mom of the cousin Trent had spoken to, reached out to Julene about the matter. Julene went over to their house to talk with them. Trent left for dance class as well shortly after Julene left the house, and Josh was already still at the dance class where Tia was picked up from. So this left Rick and Tia in the home alone. The CCC didn't know until they began the coercive hearings that there was ever a time when Rick and Tia were home alone. This was because up until this point, the family had been lying about what had happened that night, including the family meeting that took place, which kept police off the trail of the family for quite some time, honestly. While the boys were at dance class, Mr. Thorburn called Josh and asked him how Trent is doing and to keep an eye on Trent, which is just strange. Rick Thorburn killed Tia sometime between 7:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. While Julene was at the meeting with her sister, they discussed that the sister would not report Trent, but that Julene needed to get him some help because what he did was not okay. Julene returned home at 9:30 p.m. and upon arriving home asked Rick if Tia was okay, and he said it's all taken care of, and told her not to ask any more as she didn't need to know the details. The boys arrived home soon after 9:30, and the family was called for a family meeting. Rick told the family that Tia was no longer with them, that he had hidden her body, and that he would dispose of it the next day. He told his family they all had to act normal and stick to their usual routines the next day to protect Trent, and that they have to say that Tia had been dropped off at school the next day. He told them not to be home the next night as well.
Wow.
I feel like the whole family meeting thing is so bizarre.
It's almost like one of those, like, I can almost, not that I can, I'm trying to imagine it in my head, or like how I would feel if my father was telling me this, or not my father, but, you know, yeah.
Being a teenager, I mean, they're 18 and 19. Yeah, and coming home and your dad's like, she's not with us, I hid her body. Like, that's, I don't know.
It is.
That's pretty traumatic, too.
Right.
Especially for
like,
the kid not involved.
right, for sure. And it's like, this is just like one of course, everything's coming to a head at this point. What has happened in their family in the years leading up to this? Because, like, it's almost like he's just being not normal or not. It's like he's being nonchalant. But he's like, don't worry about it. I took care of it. Like, are you? Obviously, he's not well. And he's a fucked up person.
Right.
In the head. So, yeah, I don't.
But yeah, it's just so bizarre to, like, just be so nonchalant about it. And also, like, make that decision for everyone.
Mm-hmm. And for him to go on the following year and for that to happen to the 11 and the 4-year-old.
Right.
Like, afterwards. That is wild.
Yeah. Some may have happened before, some maybe after, because their time at the daycare started, like, before and ended after. But, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, some probably did happen after. It just, like, the audacity of, like, not trying to, like, play it safe, too.
Right. You're just... wow. Sick. That is sick. Yeah.
Yeah. Julene did attempt to go into Tia's room later that night, but was stopped by Rick. When she asked him why, he said, I told you it's taken care of, don't ask questions. At about 5:30 the next morning, Julene did go into her room and saw that Tia was not in there. So it's like, I don't know, that's just like, I found a strange detail. Like, is like Julene trying to like cope with what happened? Because she honestly didn't have, and she sucks. I'm not like sticking up for her at all, but like, I don't think she had any say in like what actually happened, you know, with Tia in the end. So yeah, I don't know. I just found that to be an interesting detail.
Yeah.
When it was time for Tia to go to school the next day, Rick wrote, R's and W should not go near each other. Rick woke up and drove his route to school like he usually would. He just didn't pull into the school and turned around once he got there. Rick pretended to be alarmed the next day when it was noticed that Tia was not in school, and he insisted that the police search for her. The next day, Rick was vague again with Julene, telling her not to ask questions, and backed his car up to their shed at the back of the property and then drove away. When their sons arrived home while Rick was still out, Julene told them Rick was disposing of Tia's body. So she seemed pretty clear on what was going on. Rick dumped Tia's body on the riverbanks of the Pimpama River and left her there partially closed. Rick and the rest of the family continued lying to the police for the majority of the next year until they were all arrested in September of 2016, so almost a year later. Joss and Julene were charged with attempting to pervert the course of justice. Trent was also charged with perjury and incest on top of also attempting to pervert the course of justice. Incest is interesting because they're not like blood related, but in Australia, because she's a part of the family, I guess legally at that point, it's still considered incest. Rick was charged with Tia's murder and attempting to pervert the course of justice by interfering with the dead body. Rick collapsed the next day in custody, and he had to be put into a medically induced coma because he ate a handful of pills trying to kill himself. Little bitch.
Yeah. I'm glad he did not, or I'm glad he did make it.
Yeah, and I hope it hurt a little.
Yep.
Sorry. Everyone pled guilty in the family. Josh served 3 months. Julene served 18 months. Trent served about 16 months of his 4-year sentence. Rick was given a life sentence and eligible for parole September 16th, 2036. Rick also pled guilty of the charges presented from the sexual assaults of the young girls who attended the daycare. He later claimed he was pressured by counsel to plead guilty and attempted to withdraw his plea while also claiming he had a case of amnesia while in jail.
Oh, how convenient.
Mm-hmm.
No, that infuriates me. Oh, my God.
Yep. And the Trailside Killer tried to pull that too. I don't know if you remember that, but it's just they're like, oh no, I don't remember anymore. Like,
oh,
I don't think that's how amnesia works.
No.
We'll get more into this, but his appeal to change his plea was denied. Rick was sentenced to 5 years for the sexual assault charges. There were many internal and external reviews into the different child welfare departments that were involved in Tia's upbringing during her time in the foster care system. It was found that key assets, the organization working as Tia's care team, fell short on a couple of items, one being the permanency planning. This was an internal review, and they admitted that they shouldn't have been so concerned about Tia's mother's wishes and should have been more concerned with what's best for Tia, especially after the mother was deemed not suitable as a caretaker for Tia. A long-term order should have been placed sooner because she was on her third short-term order at the time of her... Well, they had just applied for a long-term order, but she was in her third short-term order at the time of her passing. The department's response after Tia went missing was another area where they fell short. They considered Tia an absconder initially, which is just like assuming she like ran away or was just like misbehaving instead of actually missing, and didn't take immediate action. And then it took way too long to get Tia's photo released to the public. It's also interesting to note that Rick did have arrests prior to being approved as a foster carer. None of these were violent, and there was a severe need of foster carers at the time for an overloaded foster care system, so Rick and Julene were still approved despite this. But the arrests that he had were break-ins, stealing cars, burglaries. It was just wild that he was a suitable person to foster a child when he'd been to jail for anything before. Like, what kind of role model is that?
Right. I guess it just highlights the broken system because...
Right.
Gosh, it's not like every single person who's been arrested would never be
True.
suitable for foster care. But when you're dealing with children who are so in desperate need of a calm, caring, stable, loving environment, there's no room for people who have done shit like that before. These are children.
Yeah.
These are our future, and these children will grow up to be adults.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she was she was considered a high needs foster child as well because of the disorder that she was. It was like abandonment disorder or something. Adjustment disorder, that's what it was, where she just kind of had some difficult behaviors because of all the transitions she'd had in her life. But so it's interesting too that they did have to go to like some special training for that. Also interesting, you get paid more for that one. And like during the interview process, they were like, we want to do that. They came in saying, we want to do that, and we'll accept any high needs. And then they were like going through the training, and Julene wanted to back out of teenagers that were expressing sexual deviancy, I think. So they backed out of that. And I wonder if it's because she knew how Rick is. So they backed out of that one, but they were still willing to accept the rest of the high needs.
Right,
children.
right.
It is good that this has now been changed and he would no longer be suitable with the new standards. During their onboarding process to become foster carers, Rick and Julene specifically requested children that had high needs because they got more money for those children. They did have to go through additional training and take on kids with high needs, but it was found to be insufficient, and there should be stricter policies in place as to who can take on kids with high needs. They seem mostly incentivized by the money, and this was even like picked up on by their interviewers. And that is now considered more of a red flag during the interview process. So that is a good thing as well.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure.
There have been over 30 new policies put in place to prevent a lot of these issues that happened during Tia's time with the foster care system. And new departments have been created to continuously work on reviewing policies that could affect children in the foster care system in Queensland. So at least it was taken very seriously. And there was like huge media coverage on this too at the time. And yeah, they did put a lot of changes in place.
That's really good to hear.
Yeah. There was an inquest in 2021 to determine how Tia died. An inquest is different from a trial, as the goal of an inquest is not to determine blame, but to find out just what happened. Mr. Thorburn read a letter aloud during the inquest that stated, "There's been much speculation about the cause of Tia's death. I was never given the opportunity in court to give an account of what has happened. On the night Tia died, we got into an argument. She was messing about and wouldn't go to bed. She was being stubborn, and it escalated to her running away again. She packed her bag and started off down the driveway. I tried to talk her around and get her to come back to the house and told her that she was being silly. I followed her down the driveway to the front gate, which was around 200 meters, and I decided I will bring her back up to the house. I put my arm around her from behind and tried to walk her back, but she started struggling and I had to hold her tighter. She started screaming at me and was swearing. I told her to stop because our neighbor is close to our driveway and it was very late. She got worse, so I put my hand over her mouth and kept going. When we got to the veranda, I let her go and she fell to the ground. I picked her up and put her on the seat and she fell to the side again. She didn't respond to me when I spoke to her. Her eyes were closed, and I didn't think she was breathing. I must have accidentally suffocated her with my hand over her mouth and holding her so tightly around the waist and tummy. I can't think what happened after this. I don't know if I tried to resuscitate her. I know that I am responsible for Tia's death, and it is something I struggle to live with. So I can never take everyone's pain, but I am truly very sorry." Rick then went on to say that this was a letter he wrote while seeing a psychiatrist 4 years ago. He said on that day that he actually had no recollection of what happened the night of Tia's death, besides the piece of paper he happened to find a month prior to the inquest. He had his solicitor type it up for him that morning. When asked to provide the original copy, he said he'd thrown it away that morning as well. Eye roll. He said he'd lost his memory of what happened in prison. A recorded phone call between Mr. and Mrs. Thorburn from a month before the inquest has Mr. Thorburn telling Julene that he's just going to say he can't recall anything because the media are present in the courtroom and that he'll take what he knows about what happened to his grave.
Wow.
Just like the scummiest of scum. Just,
yeah.
Rick has completely forgotten, and I'm doing air quotes for those listening. Rick has completely forgotten any memories of abusing the children attending the daycare and became irate and abusive when asked if he'd sexually assaulted Tia during the inquest.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah.
It feels telling. Due to the lack of blood at the house or injuries to Tia's body, the coroner suspects she died of asphyxiation or being choked. The coroner stated in his report that he thinks it's unlikely that Tia was pregnant. She was probably just concerned about this, and it kind of blew up, for a lack of a better phrase. She was, considered to be naive, and it's just so upsetting. Like, no one even knows if she actually was.
Right. Gosh, that sucks. And it's like, I'm wondering if, and of course, like, so the son, Trent, was concerned that she was pregnant. I wonder, so she was a younger girl. She had these older men in the house. She never really had a father figure. Obviously, Trent was having sex with her. Obviously, not with consent because she's a child. But right. I wonder, it's like she confided in him almost like, I'm afraid I might be pregnant or whatever. And it just, God.
I
just
think that's
sucks.
exactly what happened. Yeah. And, you know, you're told around that age in school, too, like, this kind of thing leads to being pregnant. And you're 12, you know, of course she's going to be scared that maybe she's pregnant. But yeah, and I could even see, like, having a tummy ache over anything and being like, oh my God, it must mean because I'm pregnant, you know, at that age, even at my age, you know, if,
No.
So yeah, it's just so infuriating that no one even gave her a pregnancy test. No one even, it was like they heard
Just
about
attempted.
it the day before, you know, and that was it. The decision was made. Rick
Right, and it's
chose
so
to do
crazy
that.
that he just jumped. Obviously, it wasn't her fighting it. You don't accidentally cover someone's mouth and prevent them from breathing. Like, that takes a long time. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
I don't know.
And I don't
and
think
like
I don't think any of that story is true. I don't think she tried to run away. I don't think it. I mean, he said because it's late and the neighbors are up. Julian was home by 9:30. Like, I think the entire thing is 100% made up. I think he did probably, you know, asphyxiate or choke her, but yeah, not by trying to drag her up the driveway. Like,
right, and it's so wild to think that he thought that he could get away with it just because she is a child in the foster care system, you know, from, as we were talking about the last episode, a lower socioeconomic area that no one would care. He just didn't give any weight to her life, and that is just heartbreaking, and I hope he rots for it.
yeah.
So.
Uneasily. Yeah, and he did all this so that Trent could avoid, what did he end up doing? 16 months of jail
It's
time.
so
And that's like
strange.
after this actually happened. Like, it may have been less, you know, if it got out
And then
before
he
that.
went on to hurt two other children,
Yes.
like, that we know of. Like,
Right.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You just really want to just, like, scream. Or I
I just hope he's having
oh,
the most miserable time every day.
every day.
The coroner also mentions that it's possible that Rick may have been having a sexual relationship with Tia himself and was upset upon hearing about her having been sexually abused by Trent. The coroner believes Rick may have been upset his own sexual abuse of Tia would have been revealed. Reasons the coroner believes this could be true is that the family said Mr. Thorburn did have alone time with Tia. Tia did tell Julian 3 months prior to her death that she had a secret that if she shared, she'd be taken out of the home. He obviously had a predilection for young girls, and she was found only wearing underwear. And then the coroner, it's interesting that he put that in there, because he puts that in there and he says this is a possibility, but then he goes on to say that with the lack of evidence to support that theory of sexual assault on Tia, it's most likely that Rick murdered Tia for the reason he told his family, to protect Trent. So I just found it interesting that the coroner felt compelled to still include that in there.
Yeah, for sure.
The final statements in the coroner's report notes that the coroner believes Rick shows no remorse for what he did to Tia and asks that when his parole comes up, the parole board Queensland takes that into account. Cindy, Tia's mother, has been a fierce advocate for her daughter and has really straightened her life out since losing her daughter. Cindy attended every single court hearing, even the ones that were only expected to be a few minutes long. It was hard for Cindy to make it to these hearings as she had young children, but she never missed one. She said she had promised to Tia that she would do that for her. Yeah. Yeah. That was really hard to read without, like, choking up.
Yeah. It's just like, imagine, like, coming out of that, like, fog that would be, like drug abuse and all of that, and, like, getting that clarity.
I know, and then it's too late. Ugh.
It's too late, but she still, like, did it all the way to the end. And, like,
yeah.
I think that's super commendable. And, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I heard that was a podcast, and it was this woman who does, like, true crime reporting in Australia, like an actual journalist, not like our version of true crime reporting. And she was in close contact with Cindy. She actually became, like, good friends with Cindy on a professional level. And she said that she would call Cindy and be like, you don't have to go to these. Like, it's literally just the lawyer's going to show up and just be like, you know, we plead this, or, you know, do you have all your witnesses in line, like that kind of stuff. And she was like, no, I'm going, even I have to get childcare and, like, do all this stuff, but, like, I'm going to be there. And
That's,
it's just so moving.
That's super commendable. And, you know, she is, like, look at all the changes that happen as a result of this case to the foster care system. And, yeah, that is so sad, but props to her for showing up like that, because she obviously did not have to do all that. Like,
right. Yeah. And to even be able to get on the other side of everything she's been through after this too, like, that is very commendable too.
For sure.
We definitely need some happy stuff.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
And fuck those guys.
Fuck them. God. Fuck the whole family.
Fuck the Thorburns.
It's like, I know that Rick went and, like, made this decision for everyone, which is, like, but they're also shitty for keeping it going for a year. It was, like, her sister, finally, that was like, hey, this shit is sus. Like, something happened that night, and, like, called the cops. And that's, like, really what got them looking into that and, like, the sexual assault charges.
Right. And it seems like, so if he seems like a pretty domineering person to be able to hold a family meeting like that. So it's not really a stretch to say that he is like that normally.
Right.
And further, I find it hard to believe that the wife was totally oblivious to everything happening. She knew what they were taking. They purposely looked for problematic, air quote, problematic or high needs.
Yeah.
She was not,
right.
Tia was not problematic herself at all. She came from a complex background, and it's just so sick that, oh my God, people suck.
Yeah, that they can all be in on it too. And it's like the two kids, like, they're raised with them, so, like, maybe they don't know any better. I don't know. I mean, you still have influence from the outside world. There's definitely still ways to, like, grow up better than your parents, for sure. But for two people as sick as Rick and Julian Thorburn to end up together, like, it just is some sick, twisted fate. Yeah.
And now your husband's in jail. Where is she? Is she just
still talking to him, I guess, sometimes? Yeah. I did hear that they're, like, very, like, on the down low now and try to stay away from people and everything, but I'm not using the right words for that, but they're hiding pretty much.
Right. As they probably should. Yeah. For sure. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah. But I really love the way that you told the story and just highlighted all the important bits about, like, this systemic thing of everything.
Thank you.
That was pretty cool. And I'm glad I know the story now. I really am.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, like, I don't know. It feels like one that should be shared a lot because of the lack of support, you know, in some of these areas, and just, like, the foster care system, any of those, like,
it's just like the people in that system are so vulnerable, and they just need to be protected at all costs, because, like, they literally are a part of our future, a part of our kids' future.
Yeah, I thought that was so interesting that you said that. I mean, 100% agree, and it's my instinct to, like, want to protect, you know, any child as well, but it's in the best interest of everyone because it's literally our future, you know, it's your kids' peers.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's like, it brings you back, like, I remember being in elementary school and one of my best friends came to school with like a belt mark literally across her face.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember asking, like, what happened? And she just like brushed it off like it was normal. Like I will remember, like, I was literally 5 years old and I vividly,
Yeah.
literally breaks my heart that
Yeah.
this is the reality.
I can't imagine it, dude. Now that I'm a parent, like, I can't imagine ever raising a hand at my kid. Any kind of physical, like, reprimanding. He's not going to trust me.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be
and
scared
like,
of me.
In a world of like kind of like uncertainty and harshness, they need a safe space. And like I always want to be that safe, comforting space that, like, no matter what, I don't care, like, you can come to me and it'll be okay, like, you don't need to be afraid, type of thing, and we'll get through it together. Type of thing.
Yep. Yep. Your kiddos are lucky to have you.
Aw, yours is too. Well, I guess I'll start off by saying, and I can't remember her exact words, but she was talking about how she never Easter eggs for her relationships, which it's like,
I thought that was interesting to mention.
right, which, because I feel like anytime we've been clowning for Easter eggs, it's not over who she's writing. Like, of course we've speculated on who the songs are about, but we've been most excited about, and I would say 99, if not 100% excited about the Easter eggs that are related to new music or things that she's releasing. And I wonder if that's also a Gaylor thing, because lots of people are still on their Gaylor shit, and she definitely shut that down with the 1989 TV couple of paragraphs that she said. But what do you think about that?
I noted it, and I thought that it was interesting, and I had the same thought that you did, where I was like, well, I've never, like been Easter egging for, like, are her and Travis married, or, like, personal life stuff either. And I took it as she's, like, sending it, like, she's getting that from somewhere, like, someone's reporting that to her, and she's kind of saying, hey, y'all are crazy. I didn't think about the Gaylor stuff, which I could definitely see that being the case too. I was thinking more people speculating about, like, her and Travis being married. Or, you know, something like that. Or, like, when are they going to get engaged? Or, like, why would she Easter egg for that? That would be so strange. That was my thought process.
Which actually brings me to another point that I think is weird. I don't know if you've seen this online, but obviously we have the track list. And there's a couple of song titles that people are speculating about. One is Eldest Daughter. And as an eldest daughter, I am excited for that track. But
and it's a track 5.
And it's a track 5, so it's gonna absolutely wreck us. And okay, so people are saying, and this is where it gets so cringy. People are like, oh, the girl in Brazil that unfortunately passed away due to heat stroke was the eldest daughter, and they're saying, oh, it has to be about her. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then I thought that was weird, and people are like, oh, I can totally see that. That's weird. And this is all from Facebook Taylor Swift groups, by the way, so this is where I'm getting this from. And then people are also saying that Canceled with the exclamation mark is also about the Vienna show that got canceled. And
I don't like those theories.
No, I don't like them either, because if you think about it, okay, eldest daughter, that whole that's weird. But also the canceled thing, when I look at that title, it reads to me like kind of cheeky, like slut because slut has an exclamation mark at the end, and Florida has an exclamation. It's like, it's not that they're not serious songs, but they're not about really sensitive topics like that. I just don't know why she would title a song that, if she wrote about it, that was about a potential terrorist attack that could have cost thousands of lives, she wouldn't title it Canceled. Like,
with it, exclamation point. No, I don't like that theory.
Yeah, and I don't.
It's wrong. And the eldest daughter thing too. Like, I don't feel like she would. Ronan originally wasn't on an album. She put it on the re-record for Red, or for Taylor's version, Red, but it wasn't originally on an album. Like, I feel like songs that are like really special like that in a way. Right. I don't know that they would just get like an album release like that. It just feels unfitting.
Yeah, and also like Travis called Canceled on the podcast. I believe he called Canceled a banger.
Okay, yeah.
She is.
Yeah, man, I wish I would have like taken some notes. I felt like watching it, I wasn't like, oh my God, she's Easter egging this and this and this and that. But then afterwards, when I was thinking about it, I was like, was that an Easter egg? Was that an Easter egg? Just like, also, I saw an interesting theory that I feel like may hold some weight, where there's like a little box under the 12th song, and it looks like another song title would go there, but there's no title in it. And she did that weird thing. I shouldn't say weird thing, but she was holding it in a unusual way. And she's done that before when she was holding, was it the 1989 Taylor's version? Or
it was something. It was like an award that she was posing
album.
With. Yeah. And she had a red and green fingernail.
Okay, I didn't remember the colors, but I remembered it was like something with the colors of the nails that were out. But she was holding it in the same way with her pinky pointing at that like blank box where it looks like a song should be there. So it looks like a 13th like song title would be there. And so, okay, I thought it was so interesting. She kept mentioning there are no other songs on this album. And I was like, dang, she's just like letting us know now. But maybe she's trying to like set us up so we don't get disappointed, you know, when there's not a 2 a.m. or a 3 a.m. or 1 a.m. drop, because I kind of was thinking there would be. I kind of was.
Right.
And it's okay that there's not. This album apparently is perfect the way that it is, and I trust her. I believe that. But the deluxe CDs was an interesting choice, and 3 of the deluxe CDs were titled after song names that we already know, but one was called Violet, which is not a song name that we know. So it's like, does that have an extra song in it? I don't know. I found it interesting that she did CD variants too. And I did think it was a pretty good deal for $17. I almost got it, but I was like, I never listened to CDs, so I'm not going to.
Dude, I am kicking. I had no idea it was only 17, or was it 17.99 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
If I had known, I would have bought it. I don't get her merch like that. If I had known though, I would have.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little FOMO. I knew it, and I thought about it. I was like, man, that is a good deal, because you get a piece of jewelry, you get the pictures, you get, I mean, usually just the CD is worth the $17, I feel like. Maybe like 15, but yeah. And now they're gone.
I just didn't know that we got all of that with the CD. Like, I wasn't even paying attention to what is coming with it.
There was a lot going on.
Go back in time.
Yeah.
There was a lot, for sure. But I think that the link that you sent was also talking about how I've always thought that when in Willow, when she says, I'm coming coming back stronger than a 90s trend. I think it's just like an out of place lyric for me, right? Super just weird, like stronger than a 90s trend. I don't know.
Oh my God.
It doesn't really fit.
That makes sense why it would be the CD too.
Exactly.
Versus the album. I didn't even think about that. So anyway, so the 13th, maybe there's a 13th hidden song on the Violet album, or maybe on all the deluxe albums. I don't know. Maybe the song's called Violet. Maybe.
I just would like to say that I just feel very validated about looking at all these little things that are in the back, the clothes that she's wearing, you know, her choices in like bags or shoes or whatever. It literally, those are Easter eggs, guys. And she's said this multiple times, and she said it again. It's there.
Wasn't there one called like a Tuesday that had some tie-in to the
yes,
12 or something? I can't remember exactly the details.
She had a Vivienne Westwood bag that was named Tuesday, and there was something else about 8/12 involved in it. I can't exactly remember, but it was a Vivienne Westwood bag named Tuesday. National Plaid Day. Just guess what day it is.
Is it 8/12? 10/3?
October 3rd, bitch. Let's fucking go. All that plaid?
Okay.
Literally an Easter egg for TS12.
And
we're
she
like,
knew
what
then.
does it mean?
Right. She knew then, because the orange door had already dropped. Dude, when I realized the orange door, I sent that text to you, and I know you're obsessed with the orange door. So it was like, Wednesday morning, I'm like, oh my God, guys, the orange door. And then like later that day, we got the countdown with the orange door coming down, and I'm just like, ah.
We knew it, bro. We knew it. We knew that
We
orange
weren't
door
crazy.
No.
She walked out of it at the end for a reason, and she so much confirmed that.
There's so much to unpack in the podcast. There really is. Because she also said something when they were talking about their favorite numbers and how 13 is also Jason Kelsey's favorite number. And she's like, you just like to be contrarian. And that is a lyric from Gold Rush when she's like, I'd call you out on your contrarian shit. And that made me think, because her favorite number is 13, obviously because she was born on December 13th.
Also, the triptydectophilia and philiac, that stood out. I don't know why. I don't have an answer for it yet, but it felt meaningful.
That was definitely very interesting. She's talking about the bread a lot and baking. And people are talking about, like, baker's dozen. What's a baker's dozen? 13.
Yeah.
But I don't think...
Philiac.
Exactly. I think number 2 is called Elizabeth Taylor. And then in Are You Ready For It? She says, you can be the Burton to my Taylor. And Elizabeth Taylor was obviously an actress, and Richard Burton is a director. So I wonder what that song's about.
Yeah. Okay, so it's like, it's giving Clara Bow.
It also is giving Claire... It's just so crazy that she referenced Elizabeth Taylor in Reputation. And now we're getting a whole song titled Elizabeth Taylor.
I feel like that might be... She seems to like, I don't know, like the idea of certain things, and I bet that that's one of those things that has just like come up a couple times for her. I realize too now, listening to like older albums, like I'll hear her like reference Midnights, you know, throughout some of the albums that came out before Midnights, and I think that some of those are just like themes of things that like feel meaningful to her. And she seems like she's very into like literary history too, and like pop culture and like badass women. So I don't know, maybe that's kind of one of those
here for
things.
it.
Yeah.
Love that. I'm sure we could go on for ages, but it is also interesting that she talked about All Too Well a lot. And
the 10-minute version.
The 10-minute version specifically.
Which I did see that was one of the things that did stick with me too after that I was thinking about. And I'm like, she mentioned Red and All Too Well. Oh, and the Florence posting that she's going into a new era. She was wearing red, I think, and not orange, but it was very close to orange kind of red, if it was red. And she's like screaming into this hole. And my first thought was Female Rage, the musical. Yeah.
Right.
It had this very eerie vibe to it.
Right.
And then Stevie Nicks also like posted something just kind of referencing the date, I think, of when we had the announcement on Tuesday, or was it? I think so.
Yeah, I think it was for Wednesday, yeah.
So yeah, just interesting that those artists are. We have a Sabrina Carpenter feature. I'm so excited for that. And the life of a showgirl, like she knows. She knows.
Right. She knows.
She's a showgirl.
Yeah.
Also, I wasn't expecting to be sobbing during the podcast, but where she's like talking about owning her re-records again. I guess I wasn't sobbing, but definitely tears dripping from my face. It was very sweet just to hear like how, and like Travis threw his controller down and just like came out to her. Like every girl
just, like,
watching that was like, seriously?
Right.
That's so nice.
No, I just think it's wild to picture them like existing in like a house, like Taylor Swift herself doing her own thing. Travis
making her
playing
sourdough
games with his boys, making her exactly. He's just playing his games, and it's like that's a life that like we've all lived. I feel. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Like our man playing games with his boys, and we're doing our own thing, and it was just cute.
I think the coolest thing about the podcast was that she was able to come out and like talk about something that meant a lot to her without the fear of like, how is the media going to twist this? How is it going to get edited? Like she did this with people she trusted so much that she could be like vulnerable and like, you know, trust the people who were doing the editing and in charge of the project, knowing that if she's not comfortable with something, it will get taken out. And I just felt like we got to see her in like a more casual light than we usually get, and that was just so cool. And I bet it felt really cool to her to be able to do that and not feel as much pressure, maybe.
Dude, for sure. It just like painted her in this light of being,
she's just a girl.
I don't want to say just a girl. Yeah, she's just wanting to do her hobbies and be with the person she loves and do what she loves to do. And even Austin, my boyfriend, was like, wow, she's talking a lot. Like, because he kind of came. I'm like, yeah, she's been talking the whole time. Like, it was so nice just to hear her be so candid and just like she appeared to be so comfortable with what she was saying and where she was at, and it made me so happy for her, and it made me so proud to be a Swiftie, and it's just a fun time. It's so fun.
Such a fun time. Yeah. And we're only at the beginning.
Oh my God.
Still have
I can't wait to hear it. Oh my God. We have all this new music. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
So excited. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And we're going to be jamming, dude. And I'll be here. Yes, I was like,
what day is it
I was
on
like, I hope it comes out after I get there so we can all listen to it.
It's on a Friday. We should have a Swiftie party.
We should. I can't believe we have like all this new music that we're about to listen
know. To. Yeah. Because I just remember, I mean, Torture Poets Department, we had 31 songs. Is that right? But
yeah.
On repeat for like 6 or 7 months. I still get into trances where I'm like a couple days in a row. It's just on repeat. Wow. What a time.
Like, we're not crazy. What a time. So we'll just be clowning forever. And if you don't want to clown, that's fine. But we will.
Yeah. Just listen to the middle part of the podcast then.
Exactly.
There's space for you too.
Right. That's it for tonight's episode of Crimenelia Street. You can follow us on TikTok at Crimenelia ST Podcast or on Instagram at Crimenelia Street. You can watch our episodes on YouTube at Crimenelia Street Podcast. And please send an email with positive feedback only at crimeliast@gmail.com. Till next time, clowns.
Bye, clowns. Oh, and everything's up on YouTube now too, so check out the YouTube. Bye.
Bye.